Hello everyone. The setup that I have my ITX-Llama motherboard in is not very convenient. I've been using it in this PC case, which is meant for a network attached storage computer, but it was the only thing available for me to use to house the Llama in. I'm still waiting on the official ITX-Llama case, so it's been living in this setup for now. Also, if you don't know what the ITX-Llama is, let me just give you a quick explanation of it. It is a modern motherboard that's meant to run DOS and early Windows 98 software. I have a video that goes over a little more detail on it, so check the link for the description. I'm also working on a very detailed video on the ITX Llama, so keep an eye out for it. Now back to this video. A big issue I've had with this setup so far is that it's been a pain to use when I want to test different components. This is because most of the time I've had to take the motherboard out in order to swap components for testing. And the reason for that is when I open up this case, the hard drive bays block any access I have to the motherboard. So in order to more conveniently insert add-ons like the OPL3 chip, the wavetable daughter board, or the MT32 Pi, I would have to completely take out the motherboard. At the moment, I'm doing some music testing with the MT32 Pi and the wavetable daughter board. And in order to switch between the two devices, I do have to set some jumpers on the motherboard. So it's better for me to have the motherboard out in the open like this so I can more easily change the jumper settings. But this video is about a new case that I'm going to put the ITX Llama in. It's not going to be its permanent home because that will be saved for the official case. But I'm building a more compact gaming PC setup for my living room, and that's going to be the real use for this new case. But for now, the ITX Llama is going to live in it until I get the official case for the Llama. So let me show you what that case is. Here's the case. It is something I got off of Amazon. I forgot its name, but I'll display it in the video so you can see what it is. But this case should give me easier access to the motherboard without having to completely remove the motherboard. And also I won't have a whole bunch of cables dangling out like I used to before. So let me show you how things will look after the build. And here it is, the complete build. This looks a lot more presentable than what I had before and actually makes me want to use the Llama more. Everything's not perfect though, so let me show you the back. Here you can see that the power supply is dangling out, and that is because I am using a small form factor power supply, which is meant for the network attached storage case that I was using before. This case here does not support these types of power supplies. So for now, I'll have to deal with this power supply dangling out. Also, I did put a micro SD card extension on the motherboard so I can conveniently switch SD cards. I have several different micro SD cards depending on what type of operating system configuration I want. I have a configuration for MS-DOS, a configuration for Windows 3.1, a configuration for Windows 98, and I plan to create even more configurations. Anyway, that's this new setup. All that's left to do is to turn it on now. I'll press the button. I see the speaker light come on. And it's alive. We see the BIOS boot screen. And now we see a Windows 98 loading screen. This configuration actually doesn't have Windows 98 loaded. It's actually using a DOS 7.1 installation. And this version of DOS shows the Windows 98 boot logo when it's loading certain drivers. And that's it. This was just a quick video to show the new temporary setup that I'm going to be using for the ITX Llama. I recently finished some recordings to show off the differences between the wavetable daughter board and the MT32 Pi. So I should have a video on that soon. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.